He broke into her home, thinking it would be the easiest job of his life. But when the blind woman said one unexpected sentence, the thief froze, and everything he thought he knew came crashing down. The window slid open without a sound. Marcus had done this a dozen times before. Sneak in, grab what he could, disappear before anyone noticed. But this house felt different. Small, quiet, too clean. No alarms. No barking dogs. Just the faint sound of a ticking clock. He crept across the living room, flashlight barely flickering. Then he heard her voice. "You don't have to steal from me," she said softly, from the corner chair. Marcus froze, heart hammering. She wasn't supposed to be awake or aware. "Don't scream," he blurted, pulling his hoodie down tighter. "I wouldn't bother," she replied calmly. "I wouldn't know where to look. I'm blind." His breath caught. He looked closer. The woman sat still, hands folded in her lap, eyes open but clouded. She wasn't bluffing. He cursed under his breath. "I didn't come to hurt you." "I know," she said. "You're barefoot, careful, like someone who's been ignored most of his life." That stopped him cold. "How would you know that?" She smiled gently. "Because I've been ignored, too." For a moment he just stood there, a thief holding nothing, unsure whether to run or stay. And then she said the one thing that cracked something deep inside him. "You sound just like my son." Before the world hardened him, Marcus stood still, his fists clenched by his sides. What did you say?" he asked, voice tight. The blind woman tilted her head gently toward him. "My son. He would have been your age now. He disappeared 10 years ago, got mixed up with the wrong crowd, made some mistakes, then vanished." Marcus's throat tightened. "I used to listen for him," she continued softly. "Every night. I memorized the sound of his walk, the way he shuffled his left foot a little. You walk just like that." He looked down at his shoes, suddenly feeling exposed. He did drag his left foot. An old injury. Nobody ever noticed. "What was his name?" he asked cautiously. "Devin." The name hit him like a blow. Marcus's eyes widened. Because that was his name, or at least the name he was born with. Before he changed it. Before he ran. He'd been just 14 when he'd left the house for the last time. Angry. Hungry. Determined never to come back. He thought she didn't care. That she wouldn't miss him. And now here she was. Alone. Blind. And somehow, still waiting. He stepped back, knocking into the table behind him. A lamp fell, crashing loudly. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I shouldn't be here." But she didn't flinch. Instead, she said gently, "You already are." Marcus didn't run. He stood in the middle of the living room, heart pounding like a drum. The woman hadn't moved, just sat there with a quiet calm that felt heavier than any scream ever could. "I don't understand," he said. "You're not calling the cops. You're not even scared." She gave a small, bittersweet smile. "I lost my fear a long time ago. When you lose someone you love, everything else feels small." His jaw tightened. "You think I'm your son?" She tilted her head. "No. I felt you were the moment you stepped in. But I didn't want to scare you off by saying it too soon." He shook his head. "You don't know me. You can't know me. Devin's dead." Her voice softened. "Is he?" Marcus swallowed hard. Everything about her was familiar. The softness in her voice, the way she leaned forward when she cared, the exact scent of chamomile and old books that used to fill their tiny apartment when he was a boy. He hadn't remembered those things until now. "I was so angry," he whispered. "You worked all the time. You were tired. I thought you didn't care." Her lips trembled for the first time. "I was working for you. I went blind slowly, Devin. I never told you. I didn't want to scare you." His breath hitched. "I thought I had more time to say the right things," she continued. "But you left before I could." The words hit deep, like glass in his chest. "I changed my name," he admitted, eyes stinging. "I've done things I'm not proud of." She nodded slowly. "But you came home. That's what matters." Silence wrapped around them. Then she held out her hand, trembling, waiting. And after 10 long years, Marcus took it. The moment Marcus touched her hand, something broke loose inside him. Not in a painful way, but like a locked door finally creaking open. He fell to his knees beside her chair, head bowed, shoulders shaking. "I'm sorry," he whispered, "for everything, for leaving, for stealing, for not coming back sooner." His mother didn't pull away. Instead, she gently ran her fingers through his hair, like she used to when he was a child and couldn't sleep. "I never stopped loving you," she said. "Not for a second." They stayed like that for a while, no need for more words. Just two people, broken and healing, in a quiet room that finally felt like home again. In the weeks that followed, Marcus didn't return to the streets. He stayed. He fixed the broken windows, repaired the creaking doors, and got her talking to doctors again. Ones who said with the right treatment she might regain some of her sight. He even started working at a mechanic shop down the street under his real name, Devin. Every night he came home with groceries. And every night they sat at the table, talking, remembering, laughing. Not everything was perfect. The past couldn't be erased, but it could be forgiven. And every time someone asked Devin why he turned his life around, he'd just say, "Because I tried to rob a blind woman, and she gave me back my vision."